Hey everyone, I'm Amy, and today we're making a lovely, lazy weekend braised pork shoulder. Now, the key to this whole dish is the cooking time, which is long. But for pork shoulder, a long cooking time means tender, juicy, melt in your mouth pork that just falls apart when you shred it. The prep takes very little time at all, and it's super simple, so let's get cooking. And first things first, preheat the oven to 400 degrees and make sure the rack is in the lower middle position. Next is our choppy prep, but there's not a lot and it goes really quick. We need 5 or 6 cloves of garlic and we want to mince these up. You can also use jarred garlic if you prefer. Fresh versus pre-minced garlic, they do have different flavor profiles, and that's mostly due to the brine the pre-minced garlic is jarred in, but either way, this will be delicious in the end. Next is the onion. I'm using one quite large yellow onion here, and we want this onion to be thinly sliced. Now, if you have yellow onions that are pretty small, I would recommend 2 or even 3 of them, depending on how much you like onions. Yellow onions are perfect for dishes like this one that have very long cooking times because they have a sharper flavor and a high sulfur content. The higher sulfur allows the onion to withstand higher heat for longer periods of time before the onion breaks down, and the sharp flavor mellows down into a really complex sweetness, and they caramelize really well during a slow cooking time. When those are done, set the garlic and onion to the side, and that's all the choppy prep. Now to the pork, and we want a 3-pound roast or right around there. I have about 5 pounds of cut up roast I had in my freezer because I want lots of leftovers. First, pat the pork dry with some paper towels or a clean kitchen towel so the meat isn't too wet because we don't want the seasoning to just run right off it. Then salt and pepper the pork all over so the meat is nicely seasoned. This is to taste, so just add salt and pepper until there's a nice light coating of both seasonings on every side of the roast. Over to the stove, and we need a big old oven-safe Dutch oven. Heat 2 tablespoons of olive oil in the Dutch oven over medium-high heat, and when the oil is hot, we're going to sear our pork roast. Now, if you have one big 3-pound roast, sear it on each side until it gets a nice golden brown color. I'm searing each piece the same way, it's just taking me an extra minute since I have a lot more sides to worry about. This golden brown crust is going to add a much deeper, more complex flavor to the pork and to the sauce we're going to make. When the pork is browned and it's seared on all sides, remove it from the pot and set it on a plate. Turn the heat down to medium and dump the onions into the pot. Cook the onions for a few minutes until they get soft, which will happen in just a few minutes because this pan is hot. If the pan looks a little dry, add another tablespoon of oil or so just to keep the flavorful brown bits on the bottom from getting burned. When the onion is soft, add the garlic and stir this continuously for about 30 seconds so the garlic doesn't burn. Pour in either a 1/4 cup of dry white wine or some chicken stock, which is what I'm using, and we're going to deglaze the pan with it. Scrape up the brown bits on the bottom, and with the added liquid, they should come up really quick and easy. Add in a teaspoon of dried rosemary and a teaspoon of dried thyme, or you could use a tablespoon each of fresh rosemary and thyme. Add a teaspoon of smoked paprika and stir everything up so the seasonings are well mixed in. Now add that pork roast back to the pot and pour in 1.5 cups of apple cider, not apple cider vinegar, just regular apple cider, as well as 1.5 cups of chicken stock. I'm eyeballing this and I'm going a little heavy since I have more pork in here than is called for. Drop in a couple of bay leaves and give everything a little stir just so the bay leaves aren't sitting on top of everything. Bring all of this back up to a boil, then put the lid on the Dutch oven and pop this in the oven. As soon as you put it in the oven though, turn the oven heat down to 350 and then cook this for 2 hours. No stirring, just pop it in the oven and leave it. At the 2-hour mark, quarter up 2 Granny Smith apples and remove the cores and the seeds. Add them into the Dutch oven, and they don't need to be fully submerged or anything, just drop them in and be careful not to splash yourself. Pop the lid back on and put this back in the oven for another 30 minutes. This time though, check the internal temperature of the pork at the end of the 30 minutes. We need the pork to be at least 145 degrees, which is the safety threshold for pork. The catch is that the sweet spot for shredding pork is actually 195 to 205. So that's what I'm going for. And at the end of the 30 minutes, my pork was 204, which was perfect. Remove the pork from the Dutch oven and set the roast on a cutting board to the side so the meat can rest. We also want to remove the apples at this point, but be gentle because they're really soft and they're going to want to fall apart on you. Put the pot back over high heat on the stove and boil the juice for about 10 minutes so it reduces and thickens a little. While it's boiling, shred the pork up with a couple of forks, and you can see as I shred the meat here that it's already pretty much just falling apart. I barely have to touch it for it to just shred up. And oh my gosh, my kitchen smells heavenly! Like cooked meat and apples. It's just a lovely combination. When the meat is shredded, add it back into the pot, remove the Dutch oven from the heat, stir the meat into the sauce, and dinner is ready. Serve this over something like mashed potatoes so the base soaks up some of that flavorful sauce. You can serve it with pasta or even rice, but I like serving it with potatoes the best. Add some of the soft cooked apples on top. The potatoes and the meat, they soak up that savory and sweet brothy sauce, and this whole dish is just home-cooked splendor right here. This is the stuff of nostalgia legend. It's savory, it's sweet, soft and meaty with creamy mashed potatoes. This is grandma cooking, and it's just as good as grandma used to make. Or it would be if my grandma made braised pork anyway. She tended to go for boiled cabbage and dandelion soup because Pennsylvania Dutch, but if she had made this, it would have been just like this. So the onions did give up and melt almost completely into the sauce, but that's exactly what we wanted them to do. Because there is no onion born that's going to hold its shape for 2 hours in the oven when it's sliced nice and thin like we did, but we have that long cook time complex onion flavor in the sauce, as well as a slight thickening agent as the onion eventually became mush. There's still small pieces of onion in there, so they've done their job wonderfully. And the sauce has soaked up nicely. I mean, we don't want shredded pork soup. We just wanted enough sauce for the dish to not be dry, and this is lovely. This is a perfect dish for a lazy weekend, like that warm and hearty Sunday dinner before heading back out on a Monday. Thank you so much for watching my video. Please like and subscribe. Maybe leave me a comment below if you're enjoying making these wonderful and delicious dishes with me every week. Stay tuned on Wednesdays for more recipes inspired by Game of Thrones. Now this week, we're spending time with Daenerys Targaryen and Sansa Stark, reminiscing and celebrating with honey fingers and grilled peaches. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you back here next Sunday for another cozy, home-cooked dessert this time. Bye!